so. All right.
I don't see nothing. Okay, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez, the camera adds 15 pounds. Do you see my face?
Okay.
All right, next time you're gonna see me, I'm not gonna be on the shop. I gotta go to the gym.
All
Why are you
right.
laughing? You're supposed to be like, no, you're fine.
No, you're fine.
Thank
You know
you.
you're fine.
Thank you.
I don't need to tell you that you're
Welcome,
fine. All right. So
guys.
let's turn this mic on.
Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna end this
Hello,
one.
hello. Okay, do that. Oh, double check YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
No, YouTube is where I check. I didn't check Twitch.
Oh, so the
Yeah, YouTube.
audio.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
hi. Okay. I select.
All right. I sent it to you. Can you post it on your
Okay, we'll
WhatsApp?
do that in a few.
Guys, we're trying to go viral. That's just what it's about. Okay. The world must know about IT. That's
Okay, so this is that. Alright, so let's
ah.
bring this down.
The world must know about IT. That's
Alright.
it.
Okay.
Anywho,
Oh, did you send to me?
yeah, we're live.
Oh, you said you're going to send it.
I did send it to you,
Okay.
but you logged in last time on your phone.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking, but then people would see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so I was like,
Fine.
yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi. It's your favorite IT couple. Well, one is IT, one is here for moral support. So, hola. So can I do the introduction?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Do your introduction.
All right. So we are on our third certification. We started off with A plus, CompTIA A plus. Then we went to Network Plus yesterday, and then we're going to Linux Plus today. This is the sequence that Mr. IT Guru here suggests that you take when you're doing your IT certification. If you're starting off new in IT, this route helps you build a better fundamentals and a better understanding. Once you take the first one, you take the second one. Now you're building up. He suggested that once you're taking this certification, give yourself 3 months in between. Unless there's one that is hard, he'll probably say give another time, another duration and when to study for. But so today we're talking about Linux Plus, and he's going to take about an hour to talk about this. So grab your teas, grab your coffee. If you're probably sleeping, so if you are sleeping, you catch the replay. Hope this is beneficial for you. Okay, take it away.
All right. So, as my wife said, we already talked. So, the list of IT certification that I will recommend for beginners is 5 IT certifications, and we start off with A plus. So CompTIA A plus, you move on to CompTIA Network Plus.
Mm-hmm.
The next one will be the Linux Plus, right? So we talked about A plus, we talked about the Network Plus. Now we are on the Linux Plus certification. So after the Linux Plus, the next one should be CompTIA Security Plus.
Okay.
And then the last one that I recommend is to have some sort of cloud certification as well, right? The one I recommend is to take the AWS Cloud Practitioner exams, right?
AWS Cloud
So this route makes you a well-rounded IT personnel, right? Especially as you begin your career, right? Sometimes it's confusing, and IT is so broad, so you wouldn't know where to start, right? But this route will give you the fundamentals that you need, and also it would enlighten you on which route or which IT role that you want to get into, right?
Okay.
All right, so Linux Plus. So Linux is an operating system. Just as you have Microsoft Windows 10 or Windows 11, right?
Okay.
We as the end user, we as the end user,
We're having technical
okay,
difficulties. Who's that?
on this side, that's fine.
That's Twitch.
No, that is TikTok.
Oh no.
Okay.
Can you see us?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I mean we're still live on TikTok.
It's still live?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. All right. So as an end user, right, we are all used to Windows machines,
Okay.
right? So especially in the United States, right from when was it? How old were you when you got your laptop? Do you remember?
Oh no. I mean, I think I was in like elementary school, which is probably like 6th or 7th grade.
Which is what age?
I don't remember the age.
I don't know. Is it
Maybe I want to say maybe 14.
14?
Maybe
Okay.
14, 16, around that age group. I think.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. So, yeah, some of you might even be introduced to Windows machine probably at the age of 8, right?
Okay.
Or 7, right? So it
Okay.
depends, right? So most of the end users are used to Windows machines,
Okay.
right? So we are well versed when we use Windows.
So when you say Windows, this is like when you get your Dell laptop.
It has a Windows operating system.
Okay, so the Dell, the HPs, the Lenovo,
Lenovo.
Lenovo. What else? Samsung. All of those use
Uses what?
Windows.
Windows, right?
Okay.
Obviously, Mac uses what? Mac
Mac.
operating system.
Okay.
Right? So you realize that the look and feel is a little different, right?
Just once you go Mac, it's very hard to go back on Windows. Or people that use Windows, so it's sometimes hard for them to use Mac as well. It's the interface is a little different, right?
Right. So most of us are used to Windows, right? However, most of the applications that you'll be working on in information technology runs on Linux machine.
Okay.
Right? Most of them. So if you are working as an IT administrator or technician or in any profession, you would be introduced to Linux.
Okay.
Right? You will be introduced to Linux.
Okay.
If you work as a help desk technician, right? So basically you helping the end users or clients. Usually you would be working with Windows because the end users are using Windows, right? But if you are building a back-end system, right, like a Windows server or a file system, or a file server, right, it would all be on Windows machine, right? So, and since we are never introduced to Linux, it will be a huge learning curve, right? So, and that is why I have it on the list here, just to get familiar with Linux operating system. All right. So what we do is we just go over the exams overview, objectives, the cost, and then the career path. Right. That's what we've been doing all this while. That's the same thing we did with the A+. That's the same thing we did with the Network Plus, and then now Linux. Right. So let's start. So with every IT certification, there's different versions, right? Usually, the exams expires every 3 years, right? Usually, right? And with CompTIA, yes, all their certification expires 3 years. Some other certification might be 2 years, others might be 1 year, but usually it's 3 years. So the current version is V8, right? That's the new version, right? So this certification validates your ability to manage, secure, automate, and troubleshoot Linux system, right? Remember, when we talked about the Network Plus yesterday, Network Plus was mostly about troubleshooting network systems, right? This is troubleshooting Linux system. Okay. So it's two different things, right? So in the cloud and hybrid, right? So in the cloud, hybrid is basically systems that is in the cloud and at the same time have a version in-house or on-premises, right? That is
Okay.
hybrid environment. So you gain hands-on experience with automation, orchestration, security, and containers, right? To prepare for roles like Linux administrator,
Okay.
right? Or systems engineer or network engineer,
Engineer.
right? So that is the general overview of Linux, right? So now let's go to the domain. So this
Oh, you didn't
keyword,
introduce yourself.
oh, hey, I mean, we're supposed to have the
Yeah.
little
Oh,
flyer that
jeez.
has
Yeah.
my name, the
You're.
25
Yeah.
certifications and all that.
Oh
But
no. Well, next one. Next
yeah,
one. That
next
will.
time,
All right.
right? But FYI, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right.
so
He knows what he's talking about.
so yeah, so we have the exams. These keywords are interchangeable, right? So
Mhm.
exams, objectives, and domains, right? Some exams will say, certification will say, well, exams, objectives. Others might say domain, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. So basically, what you are expected to know in order for you to pass the exams.
Okay.
So that is the exams, objectives, or domains, right? So with Linux Plus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Five different
Domains.
sections, right, or
Okay.
domains. And the domains have a percentage attached to it. So
Mm.
how much of the questions are you going to get in the exams, right? That's the percentage. So the system management is 23%.
Mhm.
We have services and user management,
Mhm.
20%. We have security, which is 18%. And I have orchestration, which is 17%,
Mhm.
and troubleshooting is 22%, right? So we realize that most of the time, troubleshooting has one of the highest percentage,
Okay.
right? So I think system manager is the section that has the highest percentage, right? So this gives you some sort of guidelines into how you study for the exams, right?
Okay.
You're not gonna spend your entire time on orchestration, automation, and scripting, right?
Because
Because
it's only
that's the
17%.
least
Okay.
percentage.
Yeah.
However, you should spend time on it, right?
Okay. Yeah, because you never know which one you might not know the most.
Yeah, and some of the certification might say that 5% is on automation, right? So if you risk it and you don't study the automation, are you going to pass or fail? It's just 5%, right? So it depends, right? So yeah, so that is it. So let's start off. Let's go through the requirements for the system management. So the first thing that we see here is the Linux basics, right? Identifying the boot process, which basically means if you turn on your Linux machine, right, what are the process or the steps involved in getting your system up and running, right? There's a whole process involved. We have the kernel, we have the file system, so basically how the files are structured. In Windows, usually when you go to more like the C drive, right? That would be the root of your disk. So the C drive, you open the C drive, you see other subfolders as part of the structure, and you might see your name, right? Once you click on your name, then you see your desktop, your downloads, your documents, right? So that is the structure for Windows. However, Linux has a different structure, right? So you have to know what the file system, right? And also architecture of Linux, right? So that's the first part of the systems management. The next one is device management, right? Device management is all about add in, so if you want to connect, I don't know, a keyboard, right, a mouse, a disk, right? Those are the device management, right? And we also have storage management. So the hard disk drive that you have in your system, how do you manage it? You just don't install a hard drive and that is it, right? You have to know how to set it up, right? Okay. Some of the configuration or the setup might be you setting up in such a way that if one of the disk fails, you wouldn't lose all your data, right? So that is part of the configuration, storage management, right? And then we have network configurations. So basically what we talked about in some of the stuff that we talked about in Network Plus would apply here. However, it's a different type of configuration. So the first one says set up a host. Also says DNS, right? Setting up DNS on a router or a switch is different than setting up, it's a different process than setting up on Linux machine, right? It might be the same concept, however, the configuration is different, right? And you have to know the interfaces and then networking tools, right? We have the ping command, we have the ipconfig, we have netstart, right? So all the tools that you can use to troubleshoot networking, right? So let's say I'm unable to go to facebook.com, right? There are tools that I can run on my Linux machine to test and validate that issue, right? So shell operations use navigation, edit, redirection, and environmental variable. So in Windows machine, we usually have the graphical user interface, right? Which is the drag and drop, right? You see it, you click, you drag. If you want to delete this file, you right click on the file and then delete. However, in Linux, it's all about shell. Let me see. Let me share this here.
So shell as in like what does shell mean?
I'm about to show you right now.
Okay.
So this is what is called the shell, right here, right?
Okay.
So most of the time, although Linux might have graphical user interface, but the most common use of Linux is not turning on the graphical user interface. So so on Windows, I can see this icon, I can right click, I can delete and all that, right? However, in Linux, we have this, right? So this is the shell, or the command shell. So if you want to delete a file, you have to know the command to type to delete the file, right? You can't just right click and then delete.
Okay.
Right? So let me see. So this current folder, or this current, where I am now, we'll have a whole session for going through this certification. So, but this is just a high level. So the folder that I'm in now, this is what I have in, right? So I have the Docker Compose, I have Jenkins, I have a swap file. That's what I have, right? In order for me to create a new file, I can't just right click and go to create file. It wouldn't work, right? So you have to know the command. So a command to create the file will be mkdir, right? Which is make directory. So let's name the directory DELA, right? DELA, right? Once I look at my file structure again, you see I have this.
Okay.
Right? So I can do rm right? So now I just deleted it.
Okay.
Right? So this is the difficult part about Linux.
Which
right?
is understanding which one is which.
Come again?
Understanding which commands to write.
Exactly. That is the
Okay.
most difficult part of it.
Okay.
Right? You might know the concept, but then performing the task, knowing the actual commands
Okay.
is the difficult part, right? Windows, as I said, is easy to use. If you don't even know what you are doing, you can just right click and see the options and then perform whatever action that you want to perform. But with Linux, you have to know the commands,
Okay.
right? All right, so yeah, so that is the shell operation, right? So navigation, right? How do you navigate through your file systems?
Okay.
Right, so that is all right. So that is the shell,
Okay.
right? And backup and recovery, right? This is in every aspect of your job role as an IT professional. You always have to perform backup and restore, right? Because you have so much customer data or just data in general, and you can't afford just losing them, right? So you always have to back up and then find way to restore if you need it, right? All right, so that is it for backup and restore. The next one is virtualization. So all about virtual machines, right? So how to deploy hypervisor, create a VM, which is virtual machine, and then managing the disk images as well.
I was gonna say create voicemails.
VM, right? So yeah, that's virtual machines,
Okay.
right? So yeah, that is all for the system management, and that is 23%, right? Okay. So the next one is services and user management. We have files and directory, right? Controlling permissions, right? So if I have a file on my desktop, right, you have to control permission to that file. One of the differences between Windows and Linux is multi-user, which basically is saying that in Linux, you can have 3 people logging in at the same time. You can have 100 people logging in at the same time, right? But with Windows, when you have a Windows machine, usually it's just you that is logged in, right?
Okay.
If you even log in remotely, it's going to log you out before you log in, right? So it's multi-user versus single user, right? And that is why Linux is the go-to operating system when it comes to information technology.
No, I need some water though.
Okay. Anyways, as you want to go get water?
No. Can I get some of your water?
Sure.
Thank you. I feel like I'm the one teaching.
All right. So controlling access. So since Linux is multi-user, right, you have to find ways to control access to the files that you've created, right? Sometimes you don't want everyone to have access to your file, right? Create links and managing special files, right? These are a little advanced stuff that we'll talk about when we start going over the Linux.
But why do you say that it's
training.
advanced when people have to study for it to pass the exam? So when they're studying to pass the exam, is it advanced or is it basic knowledge?
I mean, from what we are doing is from just the general overview to actually doing it. That's why I mean it's a little advanced, right?
Okay.
Once you start studying, right, everything will make sense, right?
Okay.
But we can't just use this 5 minutes to
So
cover.
explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you say this is advanced, for me, I'm thinking that, okay, when the person is learning it, it's advanced. So
I mean, it might be some of the topics might take you a little while to understand.
Oh, okay.
It might,
Okay.
right? So, yeah, it's advanced, but it's still doable,
Okay.
right? All right, and I have the account management, right? So how to add, remove, and modify users and groups, right? You have the process control, monitor state, right? Adjust priorities and schedule jobs, right? So schedule jobs is basically scheduling something to happen at a specific time, right? Example, update, right? You can schedule update to be performed every midnight. Or you can schedule backup to be performed every midnight because
Like the cable companies.
there you go, right? Because most people not of everyone, but most people wouldn't be on the system, right?
Well, you would hope that most people are not on the system.
No, I mean,
Because there's almost 12 and we're almost on the system.
so instead of 1 million people, we have like 100,000 people,
Okay.
right? So if there's an issue, it will impact just a few users, right?
Okay.
And that is one of the skills that you also have to learn as well as an IT professional, right? Knowing how to when and how to perform a system upgrade and try to minimize customer issue as much as possible,
Okay.
right? Yeah, if you piss off 2 or 3 customers, that is fine, right? But if you piss off like 1 million customers, that
That's
is
a problem.
exactly right. All right, and then we have system management, right? How to start, stop systems or services, right?
Can you get
I
past me
think-
your post-it?
Okay.
And then a pen. I'm getting
I think
ideas.
we talked about
Thank you.
services in the network class, I believe, right? We talked about HTTP, right? We talked about HTTPS. We talked about Telnet. We talked about SSH, right? So those are the services, right? So we use services, logs, and time, right? So
Is this the same logs we were talking about?
exactly,
Okay.
logs, right? So remember, this is a multi-user system, Linux, right? So you have to know who logged in at what time and what they are doing, right? So it's the same thing, log. And then timers. Someone will ask, why do we have time here, right? Time is actually one of the crucial services when it comes to information technology. And I'm not too sure how many people are familiar with this issue. Sometimes if you haven't turned on your PC for a while and you turn it on, you wouldn't be able to access the internet. And the issue is primarily your time is off. So once you set the time to the correct time, you'll be able to access the internet, right? So that's how crucial time is. And also, there are multiple things happening at the same time, right? So we need a way to unify the time, right? So if one system is saying that, hey, someone accessed this system in, let's say, 10 p.m. Eastern, another system from the same company is saying that, hey, the same person accessed the system at, let's say, 11 a.m. GMC, Greenwich Mean Time, right? It's 2 separate time, right? So we have to make sure the time on our system as well is correct across board, right? So if you're going to use Eastern, make sure it's Eastern all the way, right? If you're going to use Pacific time, you have to make sure as well it's the same time, right? And then containers, right? We'll talk about containers as well. So how to operate container runtime, how to manage images, and then create networks in containers. And that is when we're going to talk more about Docker.
Okay.
Right? And then the next one is security. That's 18%, right? In everything that you do in information technology, security is a must, right? You will see security everywhere.
Okay.
So the first one is auth and accounting. Auth is authentication, right? So authentication and accounting. So how to configure PAM, we have the LDAP, we have Kerberos, and
I haven't
enable
heard Kerberos in a while.
auditing, right? So since Linux is multi-user, and most of the time you have multiple systems. So if you work for a company and they give you access, sometimes it wouldn't just be access to one system. You might have access to multiple systems, right? And it will be difficult to create a username and a password for every single system, right? And that is when the LDAP and then Kerberos comes in. It usually helps with user management. So you have a centralized database that contains all the user information, and once you grant access, they have access to every system. Once you revoke access from the centralized database, it revokes access everywhere, right? So that is when LDAP and cables comes into play. The next thing on security is firewalls. So firewalls are basically systems that manages or block or allow traffic to come in, right? So you learn how to set up firewalls using iptable, which is a tool in Linux that you can use to set up firewalls. We have the NF tables as well. We have the UFW, and then we have the zone rules. Right, so that will be for firewalls. The next thing is OS hardening. So basically securing the operating system, right? In this case, Linux, right? How to apply permissions, configure sudo. So sudo in Linux is the administrator on a system, right? It has the highest level of privilege, right? So that is configuring the sudo, configuring admin, right? So when you hear sudo, it's just administrator, right? Super user do. And then secure remote access, right? So if you have users connecting to the system remotely, you make sure they can connect securely. Right? And we have the account. We have the account security as well. So how to enforce password policy. So I think most of you have witnessed that. Sometimes they set it up in such a way that you have to change your password every 3 months, right? And with every 3 months, when you change the password, you cannot use the last 20 password that you used, which is annoying, right? But it's still helping you to secure the system, right? So enforcing password policies, you're going to learn that in Linux as well. And then restrict shell. We talked about shell, right? So how to restrict access to that as well. And also enable MFA, right? MFA is multi-factor authentication, which basically is when you log into your, let's say, facebook.com, it sends you a text or it sends you a code to enter to allow you to access the system. That is the MFA, right? Multi-factor authentication. And then we have the cryptography, and it deals with encrypting files, right? So basically what encryption is making the data unreadable, right? To those that are not authorized to view it, right? So if I have encryption enabled on my laptop and someone for some reason is able to get hold of my laptop and take out my hard drive, they wouldn't see anything that is on, right? And that is encryption, right?
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. What is it? That's cryptography. Mm-hmm. Is it the same thing as cryptocurrencies? The idea of crypto is just...
It's the same concept that they are using to secure what?
Money.
That's it.
Digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that is it. All right, so encrypt files, use hashing, and then manage certificate, right? Mm-hmm. Certificate is a simple example that I can use is if you go to a website mm-hmm. and you type, let's say, the website name. Let me see if I can do example.com.
Example.com.
Yeah, let me see. I know example.com is not secured, so let's see .com.
How do you know it's not secure?
Right here, this one. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, to avoid that. Okay.
But how do you know it's not secure?
Because I've used. I mean, that's my job. So.
I know. I'm just saying. Like it seems like it's
no, because most of the, I guess, training that we take, they give you those type of examples.
Okay.
So yeah, so you go to those websites and then it tells you that, hey, this website is not secured, and then you click on, hey, still take me there, right? So that's the whole point of what certificates, right? So certificates basically, so let's say Facebook, in order for Facebook's website to be secured, they have to register, right? Saying that, hey, this is my domain, right? This is my name, this is my address, okay. Right? So this is legit. So if someone goes there and they get hacked, right, they can trace it
back
back,
to
right?
where it got hacked.
However, if the website doesn't have a certificate, meaning it's not secured, right, they can't trace it back to its original user or original company,
Okay.
right? So yeah, so that is all. There's certificate is a. I mean, we're not gonna. I don't think they would dive too much into certificate, but it's a whole complex world out there. But they'll just give you
The basics.
basics of a certificate, and then compliance, right? Verifying integrity, running scans, and maintaining standard, right? So standard might be, let's say, PCI DSS or HIPAA, right? How do you maintain those standards?
Okay.
Right. All right, and then the next one is automation, orchestration, and scripting. One of the things that you realize as you progress in your career would be learning that doing manual stuff or manual tasks takes a long time, obviously,
It's
right?
tedious.
It's very tedious. So now automation is the best way to go, right? So sometimes someone would tell me that, hey, I'm a help desk technician. Do I need to learn Python, right? Right? Do I need to learn Python? I don't think I need to learn Python. Although you might not need to learn Python in as a desktop technician. However, if you know how to automate using a programming language, it gives you an upper hand, right? And it makes your work very well, easy as well, right? So yeah, so automation, orchestration, and scripting. So they're going to talk about automation, how to run automation tasks using Ansible, Puppet, CI/CD. So
Where did
those
they
are
get this
all
name from?
those are all tools that is used for automation, right? Shell scripting is
Which is what you showed us.
programming. Okay, so that is shell, right?
Oh, okay.
Scripting is basically automation part of the shell,
Okay.
right? So now writing a script to what? To automate the process. So example, if you want to create a user or if you want to create a file, right? You can. Oh, okay. Let me bring this here. Right. So if you want to create a folder and a file, right, or create users, right? If you are creating one user, that is fine, right? However, if you are creating like, I don't know, 100 users, you can't create one at a time, right?
Yeah.
So you have to use scripting.
I
right?
mean, unless you want job security.
No, it's called laziness. But anyways, right?
Job security.
So now if you have like 5 co-workers, right? And you are taking 2 days to create 100 users, and your co-worker is taking 2 minutes to create the same 100 users, who has a job security, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, right. So you write a shell. So the shell scripting is programming language specifically for Linux,
Okay.
right? But Python is it's a programming language, universal programming language. So you can write it in shell. You can also write it in in Windows machine as well. You can even run it in Mac.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Python is it's a versatile tool.
Hence why you like it. So you're going to tell people why you like it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's easy to learn as well, right?
For who?
And with AI, right? Python is actually the programming language of choice, right? When it comes to
Are you
AI,
sure?
Right? Oh, I'm very sure. I'm very sure.
Right? Did you fact check this or you just chat?
No, it's fact checked.
Oh.
It's fact checked.
God.
From experience. But anyways, right? So shell scripting is specifically to Linux. Python is it's not specific to Linux. You can write it in different operating systems as well. So yeah, so develop a script using environment, packages, and data types, right? So you have to know some programming skills in Linux Plus, right? Version control, right? If anytime you hear version control, most of the time what you need to remember is GitHub, right? So basically having a centralized location where you manage your data, right? So if the data changes, it will automatically change on the centralized location. If you want to view the data that you had a month ago, you can go back and retrieve that information, right? And also you can work with multiple users or multiple employees on the same data, right? So that is version control system. And then we have the AI best practices. Applying code generation and prompt engineering. Oh, wow. This wasn't here before, but yeah, so they do they do prompt engineering now. Cool. All right. And then the last domain or the exam's objective is troubleshooting. So the first thing that we have is system monitoring, right? We talked about monitoring in networking. How do you know your system is functioning, right? You have to monitor your system. So monitor health, logs is here as well, and then event alert, right? So if your computer shut down, right, or the power goes off, you need some sort of an alert, right? Because when you work with organization, there's hundreds of servers out there. It wouldn't just be one computer, right? It's a lot. Okay. So you need a way of getting automatic notification, right? And we have hardware and storage, right? Hardware and storage. So diagnose boot. So I think we talked about boot, right? So boot process is basically what processes take place when the computer start up, right? So how do you troubleshoot that, right? Mount is usually apply.
Like when you mount the TV?
No, no.
Why are you laughing?
It's when you hear mount, it's usually about disk, right? Basically installing disk. So
like back in the days, the computer.
No, the computer disk, hard drive. No, hard drive.
Okay, say
right?
that.
Yeah, so hard drive.
The CD-ROM or something.
No, hard drives. Okay. Right? So in Linux, they usually say mount disk. Right? So basically setting up wall.
I mean, that's not because people are gonna think that you mount a TV.
And that's why you have to learn Linux Plus, right?
Oh.
So yeah, and abbreviations and vocabularies are one of the biggest thing when you want to when you want to get into IT, right? You have to remember all these concepts. You should get a shirt
that says "I speak Linux." I'm sure there's one out there.
Probably.
Yeah, I speak. Yeah, I know.
I'm bilingual. Is it bilingual or multilingual?
Oh,
because I don't just speak Linux.
Oh, you speak Python too.
I speak security. I speak cloud. Both. Anyways.
No. Do tell us what you speak. How you speak. Brag about yourself a little. You speak computer. You speak. Come on.
I speak everything. I'm multilingual. Is that it?
Okay, we'll take that.
All right. So, yeah. So mount and then repair issues, right? So that is hardware and storage. And troubleshooting when it comes to networking, right? So resolve firewall issues, routing, DNS, and connectivity problems. And the next thing is security, right? So how to fix SC Linux. Yeah, SC Linux. Yeah, let's just leave it as the high level overview for now. So fix SC Linux, permissions and vulnerability issues.
What does SC Linux stand for? Is it security?
Yeah, security enhanced Linux.
Okay.
So
regular Linux is not security enhanced?
No. It's just a name. It's just a name.
Oh, okay.
So what this means is this is mandatory access control, right? If you are giving permission to someone when it comes to files, right? So when you create a file on your machine, right, you have total control of who you can. It's like having let's say Google Drive, right? And you want to share a file, right? You have absolute control of who you want to share with and who you want to deny, right? That is, discretionary access control,
Okay.
DAC, right? However, mandatory access control is when, although you are the owner of the file, you have no say as to who should have access to your file, right? It's a higher level permission,
Okay.
right? So in a high level or very secured environment, you don't usually give the user access to just be sharing stuff, right?
Okay.
You have the mandatory access control, which SC Linux is what is the tool that used to perform those tasks, right?
Got it.
So yeah, that is it. And the last thing is performance issue, right?
Okay.
Analyzing the CPU, your memory, input and output, and then optimizing response time, right? So
Okay.
that is the last section. Um, so
That's
yeah, so
weird.
now
It feels like we finished faster today.
what's the time now?
I don't know, but it
Oh.
feels like if we finished faster.
All right, so now let's go to the cost. All right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so the cost is the same thing as what the Network Plus, right? $390. Um, however, where's my face? However, okay. However, right? Okay.
You have multiple.
However,
You have multiple screens. You have to look, and look.
however,
Mm-hmm.
I can give a discount of this amount, right? So usually it's for my student. So either you become my student to get a discount,
Or you
or
DM.
become my student to get a discount.
I mean, what if they already know it already? So if they already know it,
Oh,
so they can just DM you.
that works.
Yeah.
If
Shoot, follow. I'm not. We're not
oh,
solicited. But
yeah, we are.
no, we're not. You can't say
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh no, we're not. We're not.
I don't think you can
Never.
say stuff like that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, they could DM you, and you could give the.
All right. So you can probably get like 40% of this amount, right?
Okay.
So you can follow, share, and share. Yeah. So
Subscribe.
40% of that, right? But it's $390 for the certification, and that's the first option. The next option is the voucher plus retake assurance. This option gives you two takes. So you can, if you take the first one and you fail, you can wait. You have up to 12 months to take the next one, another exams, right? So it gives you two takes. So if you don't think you are ready to take it, or not sure if you're going to pass, you can go for this option, right? But it's a little costly. However, it's better than what buying this and then failing and then buying another $390, right? So it's up to you. Oh,
Yeah.
and okay,
So the bottom one. I'm sorry. This is probably important.
the bottom one.
So they have 12 months to
12
take it?
months, yep. So
Okay.
once you fail, you have 12 months to from the time you fail to 12 months. So it's valid for 12 months after you
Okay.
fail. However, if you are in college and you are into information technology, most colleges have affiliation with CompTIA, so they already have the vouchers to give free of charge, right? So just make sure you inquire about that with your dean or
yes.
department, IT department or school of IT. And yeah, if they have that option, by all means, right? You can just get the voucher and take the certification. And also, some colleges would give you credit for the certification that you're taking. So if you have like a network introduction to Network Plus, right, or introduction to networking as part of your degree requirements, if you take the Network Plus, CompTIA Network Plus, you can get credit for that class, right? So you don't have to take that class, right? So, but you still have to inquire about that with your school of information technology, or just go to the dean's office and then inquire about that. Right? So those are the two options here. Career path.
Oh, this is a little bit more. This is a lot more.
No, this is just your entry level, and so basically the path, right?
Okay.
Remember, this is so entry point, right? You know nothing.
Okay.
The next step is to have any of these
Okay.
before you can
Become
jump in,
that. Okay.
right? Tech support specialist, that is what A plus.
Mm-hmm.
Help desk, that is the A
Mm-hmm.
plus, right? Tech savvy, so you don't really have to have these, but you
Mm-hmm.
can just be tech savvy and then just go straight to Linux, right?
Okay.
So that's what they are saying here.
Gotcha.
So Linux administrator, that is what the the job the job titles that you will see for the Linux plus.
Okay.
Right.
So once you pass the certification,
Mm-hmm.
you now are certified, and you can now look for job titles, specifically for Linux administrators,
Linux
or
administrator.
job titles looking for Linux administrators.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
However, you don't have to just rely on Linux administrator. If
Okay.
you're already taking the A plus and the network plus, you
Mhm.
can still go for
Those ones.
network
But
plus.
the assumption would be that since I did A plus, did network plus, and I'm doing Linux plus, now the idea is that if I'm a Linux administrator, I'm getting paid more.
I mean,
You know
Linux
what I'm saying? 'Cause
administrators
you-
get paid more.
Yeah, because you have to have been taking you have to understand the first two.
Not really, not
Oh.
really, because remember, someone can just jump straight into Linux plus
Okay.
and then take it, right?
Okay.
But what we are doing here is to have the building block, right? So
Oh.
it's not that every single one will have A plus before they have the Linux, before
Okay.
they have the.
I mean, you did say that in the beginning, but I'm just thinking that if it's a building block,
Mhm.
and I am to understand Linux, and that means that I have prior knowledge of other two certifications.
Not really.
Okay.
It's just some assumptions, but not really.
It seems logical, but okay.
It is, but someone can just jump straight to
Linux
to
plus.
Linux,
Okay.
right?
I mean, you could study the past, I guess. Okay.
Right? Someone can jump straight to CISSP without having any other certification.
Oh, okay, because you need experience for CISSP, so
Yeah, you
you
do,
can't be
right?
sitting. Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't. You don't really have to get the A plus to get Linux.
Okay,
And then,
that's
yeah.
fair.
So. All right.
I
So
just
yeah,
thought everybody
that
was
is
like you, so.
No,
All
no. All right. So that is it.
I like what they did with this row can lead. You're not reading the other part. You're not telling the people what they can get.
So.
So what they're saying, okay, or if we're reading the graph right?
Go ahead.
I should go ahead. So the next step row, right? Okay, so once you get the Linux plus, it can lead you to the career path of a cybersecurity analyst, a cybersecurity specialist, a cybersecurity manager, a pen tester. But it can't just lead you to a pen tester, because you need to take other things to be pen tester, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
An IT auditor.
It can lead you to.
Oh,
It
okay.
wouldn't take you straight
To
there,
it. Okay.
right?
Okay. A pen tester, IT auditor, an IT manager, and an IT project manager. And then when we come to the other sides, next steps in role, which is a network engineer and IoT engineer, right? So is the next step in role easier to get?
I would say yes, and this is the same thing that they mentioned in Network Plus as well,
Okay.
right? So as a network administrator, the next one will be network engineer and IoT engineer. Right? Remember I mentioned there's 3 levels. We have the technician, so we have the network technician, you have the network administrator, and then you have the network engineer, right?
Okay.
So
Oh, you did say that yesterday.
yeah, so the
Okay.
next row, once you have experience here, the next row is what?
Network
Yeah,
engineer. Okay.
and
Which
IoT.
and then so I'm just worried about the money for the people. So the IoT engineer will obviously get paid more than the network engineer.
No,
What?
it depends, and most, I think I mentioned that before. Most of the salary depends on the company.
Oh yeah, you
Right.
did say that.
You can be a cybersecurity analyst in a company, and you may be making 100,000, right? Someone might be a cybersecurity analyst, and they'll be making what, 30,000? No, not really 30,000. 60, 70,000,
Okay.
right? So it depends on the company,
Okay.
right? So
Okay. And
yeah.
and what is it they used to say if the job market is saturated or not saturated. So if they're looking for more employees in that
Exactly, right? So
Okay.
if that specific job role is in high demand,
Mhm.
right, they'll make accommodations, right?
Okay.
So they can increase the pay, increase the pay because especially in cybersecurity, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if they try to find a specific candidate
Mhm.
and they don't find a candidate, the job will be open for, let's say, a month or 2 or 3. Now they go back to the hiring manager and tell them, hey, we're not getting anybody,
Mhm.
right? And the hiring manager will say, okay, let's increase the salary. Let's add extra incentive for people to leave their job and come here, right?
Gotcha.
So adding a bonus, right?
Mhm.
Full remote work, right? Those are
I mean, that may be nice to some, may not be nice to everybody.
no. It's nice to everybody.
Okay, not everybody wants to do remote.
If you don't like remote job, please say no like
No,
on the comments. No like,
to all of 5,000 followers
right?
and
No
million
like.
viewers.
Yeah, no, I think everybody loves you, especially
Oh.
in information technology.
Okay. I mean, I think
Everybody
that's why people
love-
actually. I think that's the major thing. I think majority of people think that all IT job requires you to work from home. So that's where really most people be looking at.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is it.
Okay. Sure. So what are we talking about tomorrow, God willing?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to talk about Security Plus.
Okay. How many do we have
Yay.
left?
We have 2 more. So Security Plus
Okay.
and AWS.
AWS, your favorite. Okay. So I'm waiting for you to get into the nitty gritty of it,
Yes.
so you can start talking
Yeah,
about it.
we'll dive
teaching
deep
people.
into each domains,
Okay.
right?
So follow if you want to learn about the domains.
Yes.
This is education for free. You should start
All
charging
right.
people. Join the Patreon or something. Okay.
All right, so I think that should be all for today.
All right.
Thank you all for joining.